Welcome to the Media Leader Special in Cannes. We are here by the pool at the MGallery Hotel for the whole week, and we are meeting every personality in the market. Today I'm with James Hunt from CNN. Hello, welcome James.
Thank you for having me.
First question, you're almost 50 years old, Media. It's quite young. You're kind of born with the platforms and every new habits consumers have. How do you work with that today?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me again. It's great to be here. Well, as you said, we're almost 46 years old now, and I think we, at the time that CNN was founded and launched, we, I suppose, revolutionized news media in the sense that we were the first major channel and platform to go 24/7. Since then, we've built out our platforms, as you might expect, obviously with linear still playing a really big role in what we do around the world. But we're now across all of the different platforms that you would expect. So on our owned and operated platforms, CNN.com, but we're now in fast channels. We're obviously across all of the different social platforms. And I suppose really that's a reaction to audiences continuing to fragment, consumer habits changing, media habits changing. And so really our job, I suppose, as a global publisher is to go where those audiences are and to continue to provide them with content as they consume it on whatever platform that is. Yeah.
Because today it's really unstable. Everything moves really fast. So how do you keep an eye on that and still be in the race?
Yeah, you're right. I think there's a huge amount of content providers that are out there now. I think we are still one of the sort of global names that people recognize around the world. Absolutely, I think we command attention when there is big global breaking news. There is no doubt that that's what we're known for around the world. But we've also diversified, like a lot of publishers now, into other types of content. So we cover business content, travel content, luxury and style content. And so I think it's, again, just meeting consumers' news. Consumers, obviously our audience is still very much interested in news content, but they're all interested in other things as well. So we continue to reinvent and invest in other types of content that match what our consumers are looking for.
As a media like CNN today, we know as a media as well, there is kind of an issue with the trust people are giving to the media in it.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and we see it as well. I would say, we talked about it right at the beginning of our conversation. We're a 46-year-old brand, and I think we've built, hopefully, a level of trust and authenticity with our audiences over that time. And I would argue that actually today that's probably more important than it's ever been. I think we were saying there are huge numbers of media outlets now, content creators. Yes. Anybody can be a publisher in their own right on social platforms. That's obviously given people an outlet to do that. But I think that's driven misinformation at times, and it's driven I think organizations like ourselves and other sort of reputable news brands to kind of double down on the fact that audiences come to us because they know that it's verifiable, fact-checked, trusted content. And I think actually in the world of AI, in the world of kind of, synthetic material, this kind of AI-generated content, I think actually news brands and other publishers around the world, in many ways, I think, are going to become more important because audiences are going to need to go to places to get content that they can trust. And yeah, absolutely.
Mark Thompson, you CEO, target digital revenue like over a billion, even a billion by 2030, I think. How does it change the way CNN goes to market today?
Yeah, so Mark's been with us, I think, now for just over 2 years. Obviously, previously he was at the New York Times, and then obviously Director General at the BBC before that. Yes. He's really ushered in, I think, a transformationary period for CNN where we are as I said before, we're obviously now across all of the different digital platforms that you might expect, but Mark has really launched a new product for us called All Access that's going to be a direct-to-consumer new sort of mobile digital first product, the way you're going to be able to get the full suite of CNN products on your phone, and consumers will be able to buy directly from us. So it's a huge change. We're looking to roll that out internationally this year with some markets around the world, and we'll continue to push that out. And it's another opportunity for us to find ways of going to consumers directly. Yeah. So we're very excited about it. It gives us the opportunity, as I said, to kind of move from our sort of traditional linear base into what we hope will be the kind of premium video-first news provider around the world in your pocket. So yeah, very exciting.
Yeah, and you're trying live events as well.
We are. So last year we launched a new live event series. Of course, CNN anchors and journalists around the world have always been at live events, covered live events around the world, wherever they are. But we felt that actually, particularly our partners, were looking for ways to extend their campaigns with us from, say, traditional media channels into the kind of live space. And so it's really an opportunity for our anchors and journalists around the world to speak and interview people in front of a live audience. We have 2 events coming up this year, one in Bangkok around the IMF and World Bank meetings taking place there in October. And actually just yesterday, we launched a new date for our first event in the Middle East, coming at a very important time for both the region and the world.
Indeed.
And so we'll be doing an event at the end of October in Qatar, where we'll be bringing global leaders from across government and from the corporate sector to a very important meeting to discuss what's next for that part of the world, but also for the world, as we, with all of the troubles that we've seen over the last few months.
Is it important today to doing events at the era where everything is AI or LLMs?
Well, again, I think it's an opportunity for our journalists to have live conversations. I think we've taken the view that we're going to film these events for broadcast quality, so we can use that content, clip it, take it, use it across the full breadth of CNN platforms. But I think to your point, it's what we're finding from partners is that in this era that we're now in, physical connections, the ability to connect face to face has, again, I think, never been more important, particularly for leaders. I think leaders are looking for the opportunity to get together with other leaders to discuss common issues. And so we're finding that a lot of our partners are very interested in this idea of a live experience and how we translate that into outcomes for businesses.
What about the brand content? You got CNN Create. You got 20 years old, I think.
20 years old, thank you.
How did it evolve, like in 2 decades?
Yeah, we started really as a response to clients that didn't have a creative solution of their own. Developing, linear TV campaigns for them, helping them, as I said, realize what they were trying to do with us as a partner. That has developed hugely now, and branded content, as I'm sure you're aware, has become incredibly popular and common across brands, across sectors, for a way for them to connect with audiences in an authentic and meaningful way. Many of our clients around the world use our studio to bring their brand to life. We believe in using human-led stories to do this and finding interesting stories and ways of connecting with audiences that resonate with the brand. So we now have a full multimedia studio suite, and the team will manage creative across linear, digital, and social, now into the live event space as well. And it's a big part of our go-to-market strategy. Clients use us heavily around the world to support, as I said, their communication with CNN.
All right, good to know. Thank you, James, it was delightful conversation. Thank you for coming here.
Thank you again for having me. It's been great.
Great. Have a good Cannes.
Thank you. Bye-bye.